Right, well, this is the first race I'm going to bring today. So straight away, I'm kind of thinking about being defensive at the minute, just trying to ride out any contacts that you might encounter, and before I can start to look forward, I'm just going to make sure, check back, starting to get a little bit of a gap. So I can start to think about going forwards now. Straight away I can kind of recognise that this black car in front of us here is a little bit slower than the rest of the pack, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get by him. He's, right there you can see he's braking a little bit early. I can usually go quite deep into that corner and still make it through okay. But the problem is, obviously, as you can see there, I've just lost one position already, and that's just it's one of the drawbacks. When you start getting bunched up, when the field gets bunched up, you can start to lose quite a lot of positions. Before you know it, you can drop back quite a lot, just because the people in front of you are not giving you the kind of pace that you need. You've got to kind of anticipate where they're going to be braking and where you think they might be braking. So well, the guy in the black car's made a bit of an error there, so it's going to give me the run. So I'm just going to get up alongside and should be able to quite easily past. And there's a slight bit of contact, but now I can start to think about going forward, and I'm not getting bunched up quite as much. I've got a little bit of an open space in front of me, so I can kind of get my head down now, start making up that gap, and just drive at my own pace, drive in my own way, brake at my own braking points. And that's kind of one of the things that I do like. I don't like to be held back at all. So like I say, in this corner here, I can usually go in there quite deep and brake quite late. That's one of the advantages of this car. That's one of the things that I like about the tune that I've done on this car, is you can brake a lot later than the other people around you usually. There's not much that'll brake later than the Cayman GT4. Almost started to pull back in on the rest of the group now. Again, another person's made a bit of a mistake. A guy called Des there, I think. He's a really quick driver, but obviously I think there were a little bit of contact. I'm not going to name any names, but I think there were a little bit of contact with a yellow RX-7 there, and a couple of people running wide. I think it's just one of them races. I don't seem to get many of them, but this is just one of them races where I did have a lot of luck. A lot of luck did come down to it. I was in the right place at the right time. I've basically just kept up, which wasn't really too difficult. It seems like the guy who was at the head of the pack was maybe a little bit holding the slowing the pace down a little bit, because it's kind of bunched up. It's got a bit of a caravan trail effect to this race, so it's a good and a bad thing. We look back, at least we're not defending. I think that's the worst thing, when you've got the situation but you have to defend as well. That's really bad. But there's another two positions there, free. So yeah, it was just a lot of luck really. I've got a little bit of space in front of me now, so I'm going to have to make up some time. There's NSX 2005 in front of me, which is a pretty quick car, but like I say, the Cayman, it's made for tracks like this. You've got the big wing, good aero package, great brakes. You can really go. It's not my favourite. I don't really know this layout too well. This is the club version, obviously. So I was kind of learning the track slightly as we were going. So as the kind of race went on, I managed to, improve my pace a little bit. So it worked out quite well for me in a way that the group were held up a little bit. So again, another mistake. and I'm right back in it now. The guy in the lead is driving, I think it's an Elise. Again, I'm not going to name any names, but you know, he's quite a good driver, quite a skilled driver, and he's using an Elise. So you know, there was not much chance of me really getting first place from this position. On terms of pace, I was about 7/10 of a second behind, but this is going to be, I think this is the last lap now, so it's just a case of holding on, run a little bit wide, but that for this corner can sometimes be a good thing. You can get a bit of a good run out of that if you take it right up onto the banking, not too much obviously, and there we go.